how did your family navigate those differences growing up?
So I can remember a specific time period. My sister is about 5 years younger than I am. So if you can imagine, like, two, like, very wonderful older adults plus, like, me, who's probably like 12, and then my sister is whatever that number is right now that I can't think of, like 8. And we're sitting at a restaurant called Governor Stumpy's. It's over in the Waldo area, and I never thought about this until later, but my parents used to tell us that, like, people would look at us as a family because, you know, there's like 2 like white adults plus like an Asian child and, well, a Chinese child and an Indian child, and like I think people are like, you know, is that a family? What is that? What is this? Yeah.
Welcome to From Home to Here, where we dive deep into the compelling stories of immigrants and children of immigrants to shift the narrative and break the silence barrier. I'm Como, your podcast host, and together we'll explore the journeys that shape and define us. Today, our guest is Miranda. Miranda was born in China and adopted at just 11 months old. Her story is one of crossing borders, breaking barriers, bridging, sometimes hitting gaps, and occasionally breaking ankles, literally, on volleyball and basketball courts. As a transracial adoptee who grew up alongside her younger sister, who was also adopted from India, she does her best to embody the essence of navigating multiple cultural identities with both authenticity and a hint of humor. Her mantra, leave every place kinder than you found it, a philosophy that extends from personal connections to professional pursuits. After a long-winded career exploration led her to study psychology, sociology, and human services at a small liberal arts college in Iowa, where she developed her appreciation for Casey's breakfast pizza and the discovery of the walking taco, Miranda found a purpose, connecting with people's stories and asking the questions, both surface level and hidden. Her career has taken her from supporting underemployed individuals to championing aging and disability communities to uncovering the human stories behind the small businesses right here in Kansas City. When she's not working in the nonprofit space, you'll find her self-proclaimed, self-trying new restaurants with friends, giving foodie, embarking on long walks with her dog Buddy, or catching a good game of basketball at your local sports bar. Welcome to From Home to Here.
Wow, thank you.
That was such a good bio.
Wow, also I was like, wow, that feels so long. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that was so good. That covered like everything about you personally, professionally, just all the things.
I'm not gonna lie, I did use I think I used Claude, which
That's
is
okay.
like, yeah. Do you know what Claude is?
I do know what Claude is. It's a life changer.
Oh yeah.
Those in schooling. Yeah,
it's okay.
It's okay. We're in an age of AI.
Yeah. I was like, use our resources.
Using our resources. It was a great bio.
Thank you, Claude. Thank you, Claude.
Okay, so I want to start off talking about early beginnings and your family story and just where it all began. So, what can you share about your adoption story?
Ooh, what can I share? So I think for starters, that has not always been a narrative that I have just leaned into. I think that's been something that, as I've gotten older, has been more of a authentic and transparent narrative. I think growing up, there was always that, like, you know, are we enough? Am I enough to be in this space? Am I enough to be in this space? So really, like, just starting out, like, my parents, Anna and Greg, shout out to them, they could not have kids. And so they went through an adoption agency actually located in St. Louis, which I did not realize until we talked about it together. And basically they gathered different families that were around like the Kansas City, St. Louis area who were looking to adopt. And they actually flew them out. They went to China, and then as a group, they basically went through the process of like meeting their kids and learning. Like, there were aunties that took care of us. There's so many other things, but Basically they were there for at least a couple of weeks. And then, the world traveled after that, or I traveled, I guess, after that. That was super high level. I don't know what else you want me to share.
No, that's a great start.
There's so many things in between.
I know there's just like a lot to that. I guess we can start off with like, I think the first thing you had mentioned was that growing up, it wasn't really something that like you leaned into.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah, I guess just so I think there was just a lot of like turmoil in my head, I guess, of I grew up in a very like white facing, very privileged like upper to middle class life. And so I went to a very small middle school. And because of that, you really grew up with the same like 40 people for up until at least 8th grade. And then you would move into high school and same thing. I went to St. Teresa's, shout out to St. Teresa's, which is an all-girls school. And so similar situations where there were not as many people that looked like me. And I kind of just accepted it. I think if anything, I wanted to be more like that. And really having to kind of figure out what it looks like to be me. And be okay with the different parts of me without almost comparing and making myself feel like I wasn't enough.
And I think that's really hard at that age.
Oh my gosh, what a time period. Honestly, like middle school just in general is already tough. So like stories and like narratives and like how we see ourselves is just like, oof.
How did your family navigate those differences growing up?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Look at you. Great question. So I can remember a specific time period. My sister is about 5 years younger than I am. So if you can imagine like two like very wonderful older adults plus like me who's probably like 12, and then my sister is whatever that number is right now that I can't think of, like 8. And we're sitting at a restaurant called Governor Stumpy's. It's over in the Waldo area. And I never thought about this until later, but my parents used to tell us that like people would look at us as a family because, there's like 2 like white adults plus like an Asian child and a Chinese child and an Indian child. And like, I think people are like, is that a family? What is that? What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, how did this come to be? And I think internally, like as a family, it was just another day. And I don't think I really saw those differences or, honestly anything different until I went to college. And I realized just how non-white, honestly, I really was. And, what that meant for me.
What changed in college? Like what?
Oh my gosh. Well, for one, I went to a very small town Iowa college.
Yeah.
And I had never been to small town Iowa before. People were very friendly. And to be honest, and like if my parents listen to this is true, I like had no idea what I wanted to do when I finished high school. And so literally I remember my dad helping me go through the Common App and just being like, here are the schools.
I forgot about the Common App.
I don't remember it. But like literally just like went down schools that he was like, like this one's cool. It's not too far away. Like it's not in Kansas City, but it would be a good school. Are you interested? And I'm like, sure, why not? And like Simpson just happened to
forgot about the Common App.
That's do you think it's still around?
It is still around.
Yeah. Anyways, continue. No, I do not miss it at all. That was crazy. I also like because you have to write a story, right?
You have to write your personal statement. Mine was about M&Ms.
Oh, stop. What did you write about?
I wrote about this like leader
M&Ms
that would get me would gave me a bag of M&Ms because Kansas is like home to the Mars factory, and how like it was a symbol of leadership because we would like get so creative with these.
Wow, you connected that.
Yeah.
That is
I don't know how I connected.
But yeah, God, I love that. I could not tell you what my personal statement was about.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I just, wow. Where were we going with that?
Okay, yes, college.
College.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Oh my
That's
God.
my fault.
No. You'll see. I squirrel. If Dan was here, he would also know that we squirrel. But no, so I go into college, and I think like I'm realizing that a lot of the people that I'm going to school with are coming from small town Iowa places.
Yeah.
And so I just remember being like, I loved Chipotle as like a high schooler. I probably went 2 to 3 times a day. Not a day. Woo. A week. And that was before they had like the app where you could get points. And so I would just go within my free will. But I remember like asking the kids that I went to that I went to school with, like, do you like Chipotle? Like trying to find like common grounds. And they're like, what is Chipotle? Where do we go to find Chipotle? And I just remember being felt very separated. Like there were a lot of things that I had to reach for to make connections with them. And I think that was something that made me realize, I was living in a city, and I never affiliated Kansas City as a city until I went to small town Iowa. But 2, that there were a lot of people that just had different interests than I did. And that specifically I had a sociology class that I took. Have you ever done this where you stand on a line and it talks about basically like, where does your privilege lie?
Yeah.
I remember doing that, and I remember seeing the questions. Like I don't think I'd ever thought about the questions that were being asked, but 2, like where everybody else fell in comparison to me. And it just really highlighted like there were things that I did have privilege with, and there were things that I don't think I'd ever thought about within myself that kind of gave me a fuller glimpse of what Simpson was and just, people there.
Do you think that college was like that moment where you like became more aware of being different, or did that happen before and like college really just like shed the light on it?
I think it was definitely like I always had those feelings of just like, I probably had a little bit of a different narrative than some of my friends. But I think college definitely shed the light on me being an Asian woman.
Yeah.
Well, you always get those, like, I remember coming into college and there were those jokes that you would get that are not okay. But I didn't know any better because that was the only thing that I had experienced. And so learning that was something that both was not okay, but also that was okay to them, that was something that they, like an Asian woman, they didn't really see. And so I definitely think it made it more prevalent that I was different. But my first job was at the Full Employment Council, which is completely different in terms of like how I had grown up and like who I was interacting with. And so that really just like shed a light even more of like the layers and the differences that I had in that kind of how I grew up too.
No, that makes sense. I guess all of this ties into like cultural identity, and you talked about being like an Asian woman and how you really like stepped into that in college. What does cultural identity mean to you now, and how has that evolved over time from like when you were a kid to now?
That's such a great question. To be honest, like as a kid, I'm not sure I thought about what my cultural identity was.
Do you, not to like pause this question, but do you think that part of that was related to being in the Midwest? Like,
I'm sure a piece of it was something that like I give my parents a lot of credit for, actually. And this was my own doing. So the beautiful thing about that adoption group that my parents went on, is there were families that they stayed in touch with. And so we had play groups with like other kiddos that had then now been adopted in Kansas City and lived in Kansas City, and we would get together like fairly regularly. And so being able to say like I had people that still like kind of went through similar situations that I did, I think made it feel less separate and less like of a question of what is my cultural identity, because really like I'm seeing other people around me that also had this experience. So I give them a lot of credit. I actually, like, one of my bestest friends to this day, we were adopted from the same orphanage together. And so literally we joke, but it's real. Like, she is the person that I've known the longest, like, out of my whole entire life. And we have a photo together that's like with our aunties, like at our orphanage. And it's just her and I, and then there's another girl. But it's kind of crazy to think about just our journeys together and separate. But no, I don't think I thought about my cultural identity hardly at all, like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I think I attribute a lot of that to still having that like environment of it is different, but I think my parents wanted to make sure that we got as much immersion into things as we can. Like they tried to send us to I'm gonna butcher it, but basically to learn how to speak Chinese. I loved sports. I still love sports, but I basically chose to go play soccer on Saturdays rather than go to this class. And they were like, okay, like we're not gonna fight you.
Yeah.
So I know that they tried to bring that out into us and give us the option of like, how do we want to see ourselves? And I think I just chose the route of what it looked like. But now as an adult, I know that it affects me differently, and it's kind of like an eye-opener in a lot of ways. It's like relearning myself and relearning like how I want to see myself now.
Yeah.
And what that looks like.
So going back to the cultural identity question.
No, yeah. Yes. I'm gonna go in so many different.
That's okay. I'm the same way. I love it. It's like
thank you for keeping me on track, because I'm like, let me just share everything. Why not?
You're all good. How has it grown? Like, how is it? I know for me, like, I never really thought about it a lot until like college. And like that's because like I thought about it, but it was just like, okay, and so like what are we getting up to? Whereas in college it was like really just like, okay, well, like I have to move differently in this world than like everybody else. So
what, like, I guess like for you, how like what's the example of how it's grown for you? Not to like deflect the bag on you, but
oh gosh, I've never been asked that.
I know you ask great questions, so I'm like, we need to ask them back.
I feel like college was just a huge eye-opener. Like it was just one, I went to a PWI, so like, and I'm assuming you did too.
Yeah.
And so wait, a predominantly white institution.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Okay. No. Yes. Okay. Acronyms. Me too. Anyway. These are real questions coming from my head. Anyways, okay.
This is great. And so,
okay. PWI.
Yes. My like initial friend group just happened to be was just a very culturally mixed friend group. Like, yes, 3 of us are Indian, but we're all from different parts of India. And then we have a mixed friend. And like, we just have friends from what feels like all over the world, like truly a very multicultural group. And so when we talked about things and like our experiences and our challenges, whether it be in classes of like, my constitutional law class, which I would argue is a very important class, was just like me and one other person of color in the class. And it was just like, I see what the Constitution is saying differently than like everybody else in the room. And like when we were talking about how slavery in the Constitution, it just felt like it just was like it just felt like all eyes were on us, even though they weren't. It just like that's just how you feel in those environments. So like I think that's where cultural identity really just like the topic of it was more prevalent in like my life.
Yeah.
We talked about it in high school, but I didn't like feel the effects of like being brown
Yeah.
until college.
Yeah. How did you talk about it in high school? Or like, what did that look like?
I don't even know if I did. I feel high school was so much about like, how can I be like them? How can I assimilate?
Yeah.
What do I need to do?
Yeah.
Braiding your hair, like in our culture, is a very cultural thing. My mom would send me to school with my hair braided, and I would like go to school and take my hair out of braids. It was just like, what can I do to be like them? And in college, it was finally stepping into, no, this is me, and I don't want to be like them. Like, not that anything's wrong with them. It's just this is my culture, and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Leaning into more of you.
Yeah. So right back at you.
No, that's a great answer though. No, I mean, I think like similar, definitely college really, really shed a light on all of those things. I'm trying to think of like specifically outside of that moment of like being in my sociology class. I think I remember just like wanting to feel some type of connection with the people that I went to school with. And not just because I liked Chipotle and they had no idea what it was, but it was like more so like those underlying stories of like, you know, I would hear like unfortunate jokes of just like people like trying to speak Chinese to me and me being like, that's interesting. Like I don't really know what to do with that, to be honest. And just recognizing like, what would I do back to you? Like that doesn't make any sense. And feeling very different in that respect. And I think it just kind of trickled into the friends that I made there. Like two of my best friends that I'm still friends with to this day, Alexis and Sam, shout out to them. They both are also not white. And so they are also coming in with a different lens. It's just the experience of college, but also the experience of just how we've lived our lives. And they've taught me a lot and how I can show up for myself, but also learn from myself too. Because I think we kind of all went through that growth of this is what it's like to be in small town Iowa. And like Alexis, she had moved from California. And so, yeah, no. That was always the reaction I'm sure she got when she was like, yeah, I'm actually from California. And they're like, crazy. Why are you here in Iowa? But no, I think like even her, I know that she would say like the majority of the city that she was from, Salinas, it was like, you know, I think they were majority Spanish speaking. And so like to go from a city to now you're in small town Iowa.
That's how it felt. I mean, from New York City to
I'm sure.
I'm it's a small town.
Good old Lath. That is
not that it's small town, but when you're from New York City, it feels like a small town.
It's different.
Very so different. I definitely understand that. I feel like college friends just see a version of you.
Yeah.
That not a lot of people get to. It's like this old version of you that that sure your parents have seen, your high school friends have seen, and then you come out of college and then it's the version of you that like the professional network's gonna see and just like everybody else. Yeah. And then they get to see the in-between that really nobody else gets to see. So I feel like that's like when you talked about Alexis and Sam and how they help navigate things, it's just like, yeah, like that's how my friend group is. So
no, and I love that you're also gonna have that. Like but yeah, I see that. And I definitely see the changes of that too. Like there were friends in college that I had that I'm also like no longer friends with. And it's just life changes, like me changing, I think me just wanting to see myself differently and having different values. And watching that unfold is just a whole different thing.
What role do you think just community in general has played in your understanding of heritage and culture? And
I mean, honestly, everything. I growing up, like I called her my second mom. I mean, I have a couple of second moms, but Alondra, Mama Chule, I would go over to their house almost like at least every week, especially when I was able to start driving and completely. So they own Los Chules, which is on Broadway. Yummy Mexican food. Try it out if you haven't gone. Plug. But we would do a lot of celebrations with them, and I would literally just go over as like myself, and they would just, we would like, they honestly, we would try to speak Spanish together. We would like learn different things that I had never like been immersed into, and honestly like would call them like my second family. And similarly, like in high school, Jelly, also second mom, and second family. We would really do a lot of the high school things. Like I remember going over to her house after prom night and like staying there. And like I think those were the moments that really helped me see more of like what a chosen family looks like. And honestly what love looks like. I would never say like I was not loved, like, and I am loved like through my parents, but I think it just adds to that feeling of there are an abundant amount of ways to like build a family and build a community. And I feel like there's a lot of like gratitude that I have for my friends and their families being so open with me and just allowing me to be in their spaces with them and to learn from them and be loved by them. I don't think I would be the person that I am without them, to be honest. Like, absolutely not. Even like, the community that I have now with the Porterhouse and Dan and Sharon, like, that's a whole different community that I know I would not be here without them.
Yeah, they do feel like family.
Yeah.
Even like from the first time I met them. These are good
Very
people.
much.
This a vibe.
Very, very much. Oh, shout out to both of them. Oh, but yeah.
That's awesome.
They wouldn't. Yeah. I could honestly speak just like immense like gratitude and energy and all of the things to them because I know they're rolling their eyes if they hear this, but yeah, they mean the world. Aww. They really do.
Aww, that's so sweet.
I know. Stop it. Stop it, you guys.
Okay. Yes, people I feel like just play a huge role in our journeys. And community plays a big role in all of it too. So I'm glad that you had such a beautiful community of people in this journey of life.
No, even like my I think even my like I call them my Asian adoptee friends, but the people that like there are 4 people specifically that I think about that we had play groups together. We've literally watched each other grow and develop. And even them, like having that space with them, I think there's always this feeling specifically within like the Asian adoptee community that there's just this deeper understanding of like, I know what you've been through in some respects and like I can show up just a little bit differently with you. And it's completely like, I don't know. I have no control over it. I feel like it's more of just a feeling of
it's just shared experiences. Yeah. It's just shared experiences that you guys can be there for each other for.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about like your culture, and we've talked about growing up and how like just the ebbs and flows of identity, but are there any aspects of your culture that you've reclaimed or rediscovered as an adult, just like being more aware about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for one, like I went back to China with my mom when I was like 13. And I did not appreciate it, to be honest with you. Like, I was more focused on playing with my Nintendo DS, seeing if there was a pool, like, in the different hotels that we were staying in. But I actually went back with those families. So it was just, like, a bunch of teenage girls, like, trying to immerse themselves as much as they could in, like, the experiences that our parents were trying to give us. And we were just like, Nintendo DSs are coming out with this chat thing. We're really interested in it. Like, let's talk about
That's just
that.
the age. I know. I would give that to the age.
I hope so.
I would give that to the age.
I'm giving it to the Nintendo DS too. But no, I think one of those things is like I would love to go back like as an adult and really like lean into those pieces that I think I just kind of I didn't think too much about when I was there. So the first half of that trip was actually just exploring China. Like it was actually right before the Olympics were there in Beijing. So we went and everything was like being built, like rebuilt or refurbished, kind of like what's happening here with the World Cup. Yeah. But like at a very big scale. And so that was the first half of the trip. And then the second half, actually, we split and we went to our orphanages and met up with, if we could, met up with the people that were still running the orphanages. And like, was it the same building? Like being able to actually like visit and see. My orphanage, I know, was rebuilt. And so it wasn't the same place that it was when I was there, but still run by the same organization. And it was just really cool to be back there and do that. So I think I would, as an adult now, do that again.
Yeah.
But I've gotten a tattoo of my Chinese name, like what I was adopted as, and which is Zhang. And I think I am now leaning more into like moments like that where I think before I was a little afraid just to go down that path. And now it's more of a like, what do I not know that I need to still look at and want to explore.
That's so pretty.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You said that's so pretty.
No, it's just like I have a lot of appreciation for culture. Just like I feel like a lot of cultures overlap. Also, just like just things and practices. But being in America, I mean, at least for me, like I lost some of that culture just like being here, right? Like I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
And my parents necessarily couldn't really pass that down to me. And so I feel like I lost some of it. So like seeing you reclaim it, seeing like myself reclaim the parts that we can, it's just like, aw.
No, but I think it really is like what a beautiful thing even to like be around people that like want to also be curious about that. I think like I have a lot of gratitude for that too, just because it's easy to not, and it's easy to I guess like just keep going in a different way. I will also say like best friend Jelly, she did a lot of her own work and her own discovery of just herself. Probably like, I don't know, wow, like probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe I'm wrong. But I remember like being in one of the seats to be able to see her going through that. And I know that it really challenged me, and it gave me a lot of gratitude too, but to see her process and like diving more into her backstory of her life and her heritage, and even her family. Like there were a lot of family things that she learned about doing that, that both like opened some wounds and I think like healed some too. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of like appreciation for people that choose to do that, because it's hard. Yeah, it's tough work.
I think that perfectly transitions into the next topic.
I did.
You totally did that on purpose about your career journey.
Oh gosh.
I met you when you were with Porterhouse a year ago.
Oh my gosh, was it a year ago?
Our grand opening of the new spot?
No.
Was that a year ago?
Was it a year ago? We went to lunch. I remember we went to lunch together.
Yes.
Did I meet you? Oh, you're
right. Like a grand opening.
You're right, because we were with Veronica.
Yes. And I told Veronica, I was like, I've heard of that Dan. I want to meet Dan.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, so I was at lunch with Veronica and them.
Okay.
And then they're like, you should come to this. And I was like, okay, I'll come.
You're like, why not?
And then I was like, I've never actually met like the team. Like the team.
Aww.
And then they introduced
so
me to Dan. Dan was like, I know you. And I was like, great. Well, now I know you too.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Then that's very Dan. Maybe off scheduled lunch. And then you were also there, which was great. And
I just pop along sometimes.
that was wonderful. So that's how we met.
Yeah,
and
true.
True. So going into my question.
Oh, yeah.
How did you discover your love for people's stories?
Oh, I would have.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me pause.
okay.
Do you want to explain what you do and then answer the question?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I guess sometimes I still don't know what I do. Just a little bit of everything. So is this like me being like what my title is and what I do?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay. Well, okay. So I work for the Porterhouse KC with Dan and Sharon. I know. I'm sorry. I know. I feel like I'm like, oh, I guess. Okay, we could talk about work. No, but the Porterhouse KC, an entrepreneur support organization. So we have classroom training opportunities. So we have a 15-week small business development cohort. We have a small business mentorship program, and then we just opened up a space, which is where you went, the 811 retail space, which houses product-based, Main Street-based entrepreneurs that are there having their own space, selling their own products. And really, I would say that the like fancy title is like the director of operations, but I would say I just support Dan and what he needs, and fill in the gaps of all of the things that we end up doing together. So it's been a beautiful journey. Like, would definitely say he's taught me more than I could have ever asked for, but also just like helped me lean in to be more of myself. Like he's been a part of the journey of, being able to talk more about me. But yeah. So basically, that's what I do. Yeah.
We love Porterhouse.
Yay, we love Porterhouse, right across the street from Kitty's Cafe. Go there, and then our space. Yeah, cool.
You go check it out. We'll plug.
Plug again.
Okay, so how did you discover your love for people and people's stories?
How did I? I mean, I'm sure a piece of it, like I've talked about it with a couple of friends now who have since gone on and gotten their MSWs. Good for them. But like I had no idea what I wanted to do after I graduated high school. And so I did a lot of just exploratory things. And through that, obviously decided to study psychology. But there's always this, not joke, but just a sense of like you probably studied that degree because either you've experienced something and you want to fix yourself, or you see other people and you want to support other people.
The funny thing about that is my friend is a psychology major and we have this conversation all the time.
Literally, like either you're here sharing your own stories and you're trying to heal yourself, or it's a little bit of both. So I think there was a piece of that mixed in with everything. I always lean on the side of I would rather hear somebody else's story and listen to their perspective than lean into mine. And so I think that has kind of built into this narrative of I love to listen and I love to hear what I don't know. Like, I think I have a story and I'm learning about my story, but it also reminds me that everyone else around me has a story that I have no idea about. And I can only learn and admire and be empathetic towards what that looks like, because they're all unique, something different.
What have you learned about empathy through your roles?
I know
you said the word and I was
gosh.
Whether that's like what you do now with Porterhouse or in your previous roles, just how was empathy?
I think a lot of it actually has been really me humbling myself or learning how to humble myself and understanding that I had a certain way of growing up, and that not everybody gets to experience that. And if they didn't get to experience that, like what was that? And what can I do to be a support of that? And not hinder their ability to continue to grow or make their goals or do whatever they want to be doing. I do feel like there is this sense of like I always lean into feeling like I don't understand, but I want to understand. And so how do I get there with that person? And I feel like through that, it usually ends up being we have a good conversation. And like Jelly and I always joke, like if we're at a party, like we would rather sit in a corner and talk to one other person and just learn about them and talk with them about their story and their life than like be in this large group, because that's just how we default. But yeah, I feel like you learn so much more about a person, and you get to feel like you're connected with them in a way that I don't know if you would feel connected to them otherwise. It's like a dance. It's like a magical, vulnerable dance that I feel like people lean into.
And I feel like that's very powerful in the space that you're in, supporting entrepreneurs, and just trying to build a better world through doing your role, doing your part in the way that you can to just create change, like as a whole.
I think something that like Dan and I a while ago, so Dan and I worked together at my first job. That's literally how we met. And I would go into his office. He was the like, what was he? The equal opportunity officer. So he would deal with all of the complaints basically. And first job. And so I'm like coming into his office and I'm like crying because I'm like, is this what the real world is like? Like, is this what adulting and like your full-time job stuff is going to look like? And he's like, no, like, it'll be okay. Like, you're doing a great job. Like, just keep being you. And through that, like, he ended up telling me about the porterhouse. But whatever, fast forward to now, and, you know, I have a bachelor's, but it's in psychology. There's no, like, business background, no, like, and I think probably for the first year that I worked with him, there was a lot of, like, words. What do you call that? It's called something that I can't think of right now. But it's basically making you feel like you don't belong. Like you...
Oh, imposter syndrome?
Yes, thank you. I was like, it starts with an I. I know it does.
Yes.
I felt a lot of that just because I didn't have a business background.
Oh,
I was
God.
there.
I felt...
Like, I was just like, you know, like, I know you're asking me to support your business, but I don't have, like, an MBA. I've never had a business. Like, you know, like, I don't know why I'm here. And Dan really helped me. We had a conversation about this, and he really helped me understand, like, at the end of the day, like, business is business. Like, there are certain functions, certain pieces of business that you should know. And that's learned, that's taught. Something that he reminded me is that business owners are also people, and like to show up for them as people and to learn about them as people ends up playing into what their business is and maybe even what their passions are. And it kind of intertwines with supporting their business too, is just supporting who they are and what they need.
That's really
and that was where I was like, oh, okay, so like psychology wasn't for nothing. Like I understand more of where this intertwines. And I think that's the lens that I've ended up sitting in now, is I'm not going to pretend, and we never do, like, we're going to pretend to be the foremost experts in like running a business and having a business. And
right.
We're not going to tell you all of those things, but we will be there with you as you figure it out. And I think like that's the component that is sometimes overlooked, is people just want the answers and they're like, just give me the template and tell me what to do. And I think in a lot of ways, like every business, it's different. And so to be able to show up for people in that sense is also something that he helps remind me of, and that he does really well, just naturally anyways. But it makes it feel more attainable, and that showing up for people is deeper than knowing their business and knowing all of the other
Because I feel like even when we talk about business, it's always just like you instantly go to like MBA and just finance and business admin and just all of those things, but we often forget the human side of things, of just like, wait, no, like these are people too that are going through real people issues, and like just need real people support.
All the people things, like
all the psychology
all the psychology things. But
that's awesome.
No, yeah, like I think he's really helped teach me that too. So shout out to him again. Anyways,
he's gonna be happy with this.
I know, like, you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding. He deserves it.
Cool. Well, I want to do like a quick rapid fire round.
Oh my gosh!
All the things you mentioned.
Another good rapid fire.
Okay. What's your favorite hidden gem in Kansas City?
I love blue koi.
Okay, explain.
Blue Koi is, first of all, they were on Dinner, Dive-Ins, and Drives or something.
A show.
With the Ferrari guy.
The guy. Yep.
With the spiky hair.
Yep, we know.
Yep. Okay, they know. Yes. Okay, so, he went to their restaurant. They're known for their dumplings. And so I, to this day, have not had better dumplings than Blue Koi. And so I will take all of my friends who come out of town. That is like one of the first spots that I take them to is Blue Koi.
Okay.
And the crispy tofu with awesome sauce. If you're not a tofu person, that's okay because the crispy tofu is fire.
Okay.
So yeah.
Blue Koi.
Blue Koi, hidden gem. Hidden gem. Maybe not hidden, but definitely a gem.
Okay. What is Buddy's most chaotic moment?
Oh my gosh. Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Yo, so okay. I love Buddy so dearly. I'm new to being a dog mom, just like by myself. Like I've always had family doggos, but this is like
Your dog.
He is my child. And so Buddy, first of all, does not like thunderstorms. That's something that I've learned. But also I was gifted a Roomba. Do you know what a Roomba is?
Is it that like
The robot vacuum.
Yeah.
Was gifted that, and I was like, thank you, because literally, so Buddy is like part pit, part husky, and so he sheds all the time. And I love that about him, but also it's tiring to clean him.
Yeah.
And so gifted the Roomba so it'll pick up his hair. And I used to leave him out, just like letting him wander. And there was a time where I scheduled my Roomba to run just like while I was gone. And Buddy does not like the Roomba. And so he actually shitted. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss down here.
You're good.
Anyways, but left a present in front of the Roomba. And the Roomba ran as like it's scheduled to do. And so it literally Roomba'd like his gift all over my apartment. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love being a dog mom. I have never loved it more. And so maybe I might have done a little bit of crying. Like I might have just like walked in and just sat there for a second. And then I went to a work event and I told everyone about it then. And so that would be like a chaotic thing Buddy has done.
Buddy.
But he did it not out of malice to me, but definitely to the Roomba.
Okay.
We have since replaced it too, so don't worry.
Okay. So we still use it?
We still use a Roomba, but we've changed a lot of things. Like,
Okay.
Buddy does not stay out anymore, and the Roomba is not scheduled. Like, we have learned so much.
Okay.
But it's okay, and it's a completely new Roomba, so we're not dragging anything else.
I'm glad. You have us.
Yes. I know you were worried.
All good. Okay. So remind me where you were like mainly raised. Was it Casey area?
Yeah.
And then you went to school in Iowa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you define as home?
Home. That's such a good question. I think, so my parents now, they travel. They bought a house out in Colorado, but they ended up also buying a house back here, but not the house that I grew up in. I would say home is probably like when we're all together. My sister still lives in Colorado now, so it's rare that I'll see her. But when I do, it's wonderful. I can't believe I said that. If she listens to that, she'll probably also ick. But we have a loving relationship. But I would say like when it's all of us together, and yeah, it just doesn't happen often. So I would say home feels like that, and also just being around my friends. I think there's a lot of different homes. I know. It's like there's so many different homes actually.
Everyone I've asked that question so far has said the same thing.
Really? Okay, I want to say a different answer now.
It's great. No, I think it's great because I feel like when I ask the question, people think they have to answer with like Kid City is home, New York City is home. And so I think that's what like I think that's what people
Didn't even think.
Great.
about
No, I love it.
Wow, I literally was just like, where do I feel like home is?
That's awesome.
And like probably eating some ice cream. I do love me some ice cream.
Is fire.
Anyways, that's so squirreled.
No, it's okay. I 100% get that. It's very
Ice cream for you.
where my family is.
Yeah, okay.
People are.
Okay. Okay. That's
I gave a whole speech on home about
fair.
what is your favorite ice cream spot?
Oh,
I'm a big ice cream enthusiast.
oh my gosh. What do you like?
I like unique things. Like I love the classic cookies and cream, always a good go-to. But like Betty Ray's lavender honey,
Yes, that's my mom's favorite.
or like Betty Ray's like Dalmace coffee one,
Yes.
salad
yes.
and Maddie. Have you been to Sal's?
Yes, I went for the first time literally like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It was fire.
Really,
Also,
really
like
is fire.
the downstairs, I had no idea. It is a whole space.
It's a whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, okay, High Hopes. Have you been to High
No.
Hopes? Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
High Hopes is also plug to them, in the Casey Current Stadium.
Okay.
So they have like their own spot, but phenomenal. You definitely like my friend Hannah said that she will take a walk up to High Hopes and get her ice cream and take a walk back. You like have to sit outside, so it's like more of a walk up. But a lovely thing to do in the summer, like sit outside, hang out, have a good ice cream. The cones are fire if you're a cone gal. High Hopes, I would say. If you know Betty Ray's already, would be my other one.
Okay, cool. We love ice cream.
I know we love ice cream.
Okay, we're gonna do a little wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
Some reflections.
Oh,
Okay. What would you tell your younger self about belonging?
oh my gosh, that's so deep. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Whoever my ice cream too.
Yeah, like I know. Oh my gosh. Well, I think there was a really big theme for me about just feeling like I was enough. And I think it ended up being about me and what I was telling myself at the end of the day. And I think belonging really starts with me and feeling like I belong to myself.
Yeah.
My best friend Jelly would always remind me of just like how we feel about ourselves ends up shining through the people around us. And I think that was something that I really missed out on as a kid, but I also received just because of the friends that I did end up making.
Yeah.
So a both and. I would say, feel like you're enough even when it feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I've
beautiful.
never been asked that. Oh,
Yeah.
therapy session, Loki. Oh my gosh. What would you say? Am I allowed to do that? Yeah, you asked the good questions. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Myself.
Gosh, I know. Teach us something.
Now, what I would tell my younger self. I think I would tell my younger self that I'm enough.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would really start the journey to I'm like gonna start crying.
No, I know. I'm just like, but no, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
feel like
true.
I never thought I was enough as a kid. Like I just was always like, what more can I do to make you happy?
Yeah.
And at some point along the journey, it switched of like, no, what can I do to make me happy?
Like, oh my gosh.
And everyone like that's when I finally started to like be at peace with me. Yeah.
What does peace look like for you?
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. That was such a good transition.
What does peace look like for me? I feel like being a college student, you don't really get many moments of peace. And that's just like the nature of just where you're at in life. But I would say like the moments where I just like feel like I'm floating in life and like life feels like light would be two things. One, when I'm like with my family and we're just like all just like talking or like having dinner or just like talking about random things.
Yeah.
And two, which I get more of, is just stupid, like careless moments with my friends where truly like the deadlines don't matter, the next networking event and the assignment, none of that matters. It's just like, we just had like a big feast, and do you guys want to go get ice cream now and like go do something else? Or like, let's go out on a Wednesday night. And like, I think it's just being in community. Being in community with my people is where I feel at peace. What about you?
Oh, what a nice question.
Yeah.
No, I think probably similarly, like being around people that help make me feel like, or remind me feel like I'm enough.
Yeah.
But also I think like there's a lot of trust in the community and the spaces that I feel like I do feel safe in. And not even just about like being enough, but also like they take care of themselves just as much as they're there to almost like take care of me, and vice versa. And I think like there's a beautiful thing around that, whether it's like, just laughing about stupid shit, or it's like really like solving a problem that maybe one of us is struggling with. So it kind of mixes with feeling both peaceful and also safe.
That's pretty.
Ooh.
What does From Home to Here mean to you?
Wow.
Tell us what our podcast title means.
No, I know. I'm like, wow, what a plug. Okay. What would you like it to mean to me?
I don't know. In your own word, what does it mean to you?
Wow. What have past answers been like? Actually, don't tell me that. That's biased.
I've answered. I've asked that a lot.
Really? Wow, what does it mean to me? I think for me, it's like, I think home will always be movable. I think it will be where you want it to be. And then to here, I guess, means taking home with you to wherever you want to be. And making home that. I think in a lot of ways, that was a little butchered. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
I see the vision.
But I think just being able to share a story in a way that feels like home.
Yeah.
Is something deeper than just like, what do you do for work?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
That's awesome.
That was not as great as I'm sure.
No, that was very.
You said awesome. I saw the vision.
No, it was a weird vision. I 100% see it. I do see it. Is there anything you want to share that I haven't asked or touched on?
No, I was gonna ask you that.
Ask me what?
Like, what is something that you have wanted to share that, or ask that, either to me or to yourself, honestly, just like,
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
I'm like, oh, like that's such a good question. That is back. Go back.
So wait, say it one more. Ask.
Like, is there something within this conversation that you would have changed or wanted to talk about more?
Not that I would have changed. I think you shared like parts of your story that I've never heard about before.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it's just, life is just challenging, and like being able to have these conversations and being in community with people for everyone to understand that it's more like we have more similarities and differences with each other.
True.
Very true. I just really appreciated being able to just like even sit down with you and get to know more about your background and your story. And I mean, I've always seen you just out in the community, but getting to know a little bit more of like a personal side of you. I don't know. It's been beautiful.
Well, I love that you create this space for it. Like, you, first of all, provide great questions, but also like you're a great listener. So it provides that, like,
Appreciate it.
we can do this anytime.
Yeah. We do it a lot.
I know, yeah. Now that I know it's cool. I know. We can go get ice cream.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we should so do that.
No. I'm lactose intolerant, but I'll be down.
Great. Cool. Well, last thing, what is a piece of advice you would give to just immigrants, children of immigrants, those listening, your friends, just the audience, just the people? Yeah. What would you tell the people?
I think, wow, a piece of advice. I think I would say, like, remain curious about yourself. I think, you know, we talked about how community has impacted me and shaped me, but I think it helped being curious about what I didn't know, and also being okay with the things that I didn't know, and allowing the community to tell me or help guide me and potentially what I didn't know. And so I would say, like, definitely stay curious and open in that respect. I think it'll lead you to better places than if you hide yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. How can everyone stay connected with you, follow you?
Oh,
Plug yourself. Go ahead and plug yourself.
No, I was like, I don't know. I think people should follow the Porterhouse KC. Yeah. I love the work that we're doing. I think our backyard space is about to open up, so we're literally going to have a fire pit for literal fireside chats. So follow them for that. But then also, I don't know, my name's Miranda and I'm on Instagram. Should I say, like, the full thing?
Up to you.
I actually don't think I know what it is. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. But my last name is Schultz, so
we'll plug Miranda.
Yeah. So sorry. I don't plug myself often, obviously. So, but anyways, follow me on Instagram. Sure.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for being a part of From Home to Here.
Stop. Thank you. I was so happy to be asked. Like, so honored, honestly.
We're happy to have you. All right, we'll catch you guys at the next one. Thank you.
Bye.